Well, good morning, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in Central California. Coming to you from the MDF again. Here's some techno porn to look at while I'm talking. So I was going to talk about today is boundaries. Well, not those kind of boundaries. Technical boundaries, operational boundaries, areas of responsibility, I guess. So it kind of, I guess I started trying to talk about this way back in my ubiquity video, where everybody was trying to tell me what I should have done to troubleshoot this ubiquity router that was on in one of our clinics. And at the time, I tried to explain to everybody, or subsequently, I've tried to explain to everybody, that was the ISP's router. It wasn't mine. I had no way to get into that router. And I had no business being in that router, so there's no reason for me to troubleshoot it. It's not mine. There's a boundary there. So we had a similar situation here with this silver-looking router down here. It's a Cisco router of some type. No, I don't know what type it is offhand. I could walk to the other side of the rack and look, but yeah, doesn't matter. It's not my router. It's not mine. I can't get into it. I can't do anything with it. There's a boundary. So the other day, these guys called me. They happen to be from UC Davis. They called me the other day and said, hey, we can't reach our router. I tried to ping their router, and I couldn't ping it either. Oh, well, you know what? I bet we lost power down here. I'll come down here and get it. Oh, it's powered up. Ethernet light is flashing just like normal. But what was not normal was, let's see if I can show you. What's not normal is, you'll see there's an amber light and a green light. Well, the amber light is for this port that's unplugged. The green light is the port that's plugged in. Well, it was amber too, so we had two amber lights. And that's an alarm light. For all you Cisco guys are going, well, duh. So that means it wasn't connected. So, pardon my hand, had to follow this white cable right there. I'd follow it all the way up through that rat's nest, all the way across the top, well, through that tray, and then it came out over there, comes out over there, comes down the wall over here, comes down right here, and finally loops right back up into this thing. And it's this circuit right here on the end. And I looked at that, and if you look at it now, this card here on the end, this card, there's green lights up there, and you can probably barely see them. But that card was dark. So I told them, your card is dark. And they said, oh, can you call AT&T? Well, it's not my circuit. I didn't order it. I don't own that circuit. It's another boundary. So I said, well, can you? And they said, well, do you have any AT&T contact info? And I said, no, who ordered the circuit? And they said, well, we did, but we don't have the info anymore. I said, I'm sorry to hear that. So anyway, they found their info. They called AT&T. They took care of it. AT&T actually had to come out, and the circuit got cut. Boundary. They took something's happening. They took care of the problem, which they should. That's their problem to take care of. That's not my problem to fix. Still can't ping that router, by the way, and I keep emailing UC Davis saying, hey, I can't ping the Ethernet side of your router. And I did. I unplugged it, and I plugged it, configured up a device, my little cable scanner. Gave it the IP of the router and plugged it into the same network port, which is up here somewhere, up in there. Plugged it into that port, and then I could ping that same IP address. Plug it back in the router, I can't ping it. So I think they either have the gateway or subnet mask wrong. Not my problem. I'm going to send them the subnet mask and gateway information and tell them, hey, make these changes at your convenience, whenever. But actually, it doesn't matter because we've got a VPN tunnel over to them, so I think this is just a backup line. But still, we want it to work. Again, that's not my problem to fix. That's their problem. So there's that boundary. And again, with the AT&T, so the telephone situation here. Now our telephone seems to all be through there. Now all of our telephones through can you even see it? Well, you can't see it very well, but through there. We got a Cisco router in there that has the phone lines coming through that now. And that's all managed by a telephony group that's not affiliated with the hospital. We're county owned, and it's a county entity that runs the telephony group. Now, what am I responsible for? Making sure that phone lights up. So when they plug it into a switch, I make sure the switch port is configured correctly, the right VLANs are on the port, and the port's delivering power. That's where my responsibility for phones ends. That's my boundary. So once we see this thing light up and it registers, then I'm done. The other group takes over. If the phone has the wrong phone number on it, or it's not registering, then that's the county. So that all being said, well, not last night, the night before last, as a matter of fact, I got called by our help desk at just before 4 a.m. Said, hey, nobody can call inbound to the hospital. Okay. Did you call downtown ISD? Did you call the information services downtown? He goes, well, they're not answering. I said, but I can't troubleshoot that. Why are you calling me? Well, because they're not answering and I don't know what to do. She's got escalation procedures. So I told her, read your escalation procedures and, just keep trying. And wished her luck, and I hung up. That's another boundary. I don't fix those problems. I can't. I don't have the tools. I don't have the login accounts. It's not mine to fix. So anyway, she'd already woke me up about an hour before it was time to go to work. I couldn't sleep, so I finally just got up. Half hour later, went into work, got in half hour earlier, walked over to her, and said, well, did anybody call you? Were you able to get anybody? And she said, no, I've been emailing them all night. What's wrong with that phrase? What's wrong with that sentence? I said, you've been emailing them? Did you know that people don't read email when they're sleeping? Well, I know, but I thought. I said, all right, hang on. So I called the network on call. I couldn't get through to the telephone guys either. They weren't answering. They have an on-call person that's supposed to answer 24/7. They weren't answering. So I called the network, ISD network, my counterparts at the county. And of course they answer because we, network guys, we always answer. So I called them and I said, hey man, I'm really sorry to wake you up, but I can't get a hold of these telephone guys. I'm just wondering if you have any numbers you can try to call them on, or if you know their manager, if you can call their manager. We don't have their manager's number. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. And I was very apologetic. Sorry to wake him up. He kept saying, oh no problem. I get it. So anyway, he calls. He got things going, and so then AT&T, and this whole story has more to do with AT&T. When they fixed that circuit over there. So AT&T. It's weird. We could call outbound, no problem, but calls, when they try to call in, they'd get a busy signal. You telephony guys may know what that means. I don't, but I found out. So we started a conference bridge at about 7 a.m. and I was doing some testing for them. I just would see if I could call my phone, basically. And I checked our firewall to make sure we weren't blocking any traffic from them. No, we weren't. Their firewall wasn't blocking any traffic. The server didn't have anything in the logs. The routers didn't have anything in their logs. And so AT&T started checking the circuits. Well, at about noon, so this issue started happening at 2:30 in the morning. Well, about 2 in the morning. About noon, AT&T finally isolated the cause of the problem. Circuit had been disconnected. Well, who ordered the disconnect? That usually takes months. It takes months for AT&T to do anything. Well, they reconnected the circuit and boom, our phones started working again. What do you know? So I'm a little suspicious. Why did that circuit go down and then our inbound phone lines go down? So anyway, but the whole point is, you know, I can only do so much. I can only work within my world, within my realm, within my boundaries. And then other people have to do their work in their boundaries. So as you go through your network admin career or start your career, just know what your boundaries are. Are you required to do everything? Are you required to troubleshoot the internet service provider's equipment? Are you required to troubleshoot equipment that's not yours? I'm not. And frankly, if I were you, I would insist that you're not responsible for that either. So, all right, long said story is over. Announcements of stuff coming up. I'm going to try to do more shorts, just because a lot of times I don't have any long form content. So I'll start trying to do a little more shorts. And the YouTube algorithm seems to favor that. I'm not big on the YouTube algorithm. I don't understand it. I don't study it. Don't really care, really. But I have heard from other YouTubers that YouTube favors short content. So I'll probably be making some YouTube shorts, just little things that probably more interesting than me sitting around talking anyway. Mostly it will be like maybe shorts of equipment working or wiring or whatever. Nerdy stuff like this right here. So that's all I got for this week, guys. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, click the thumbs up button. Do all of those things because the algorithm likes it. We don't want the algorithm to get upset, do we? Oh, keep those prayer requests coming. Keep those great comments coming. And we'll see you all next week. God bless.